Talk slow here. I read a book. I'm gonna tell you about it.
Frippery? That's like when something's like, I don't know, frozen and slippery? It's frippery?
Knickers.
Silly English words.
Canapes. Do you know that canape means mosquito in some other language? I learned that on NPR. Yeah. It just leaves you like feeling empty inside. Like your soul's been ripped out of your butt. You know, I don't know what I was referring to when I was talking about all the soul butt ripping stuff, but I definitely wasn't talking about how you're going to feel when you get done reading Lucy Foley's The Guest List. Last week we reviewed Raven Leilani's new novel, Luster, and this week we've got a mystery to solve. We've got mysteries to solve. Literally just said that. The guest list came out in June of this year, so belated congratulations to Miss Foley on that. I messaged her on Twitter letting her know that I was going to be reading her book on stream and doing a review video, and she very graciously got back to me and gave me permission to display the book while I read. I thought that was super cool. Thank you so much for letting me do that. Part of my goal in making these videos is to cut through some of the militant genreism and target audience bullshit and just recommend good books. At the end of the day, a good story is a good story. And if you go into reading a book without too many preconceptions about what you're going to get, you'd be surprised about how often you find things that you can relate to in places you never would have thought to look. All right. Screw it. Let's do this live. This is the island where the wedding takes place. This is water, because islands are surrounded by water. I learned that in public school. In America. Ugh. We have the bride, Jules. We have the groom, Will. I have a brother named Will, and he started spelling his name with only one L. He said it's more efficient. And then we have Olivia. I'm not referencing back to the book. I'm just doing this all from memory. We'll see how far we get. Olivia is Jules' sister. Then we have Jono, which is a troublesome name. And this is Will's BFF. If you don't know, BFF stands for bull fighting friend. It's a friend you fight bulls with. All right, let's see. Jono is Will's best man. Olivia is Jules' only bridesmaid. And then we have Hannah. Let's see. We'll put her down here. She gets quite a bit of page time, but she's not directly tied to either of these main parties, the Will and Jules parade. Her husband, which I don't remember his name, but was invited by the bride, Jules. He is Jules' BFF for some reason. And, Hannah's not super thrilled about that. It may present as a point of tension during the story. You'll have to read to find out. All right. Then we have the wedding planner and a venue owner. Um, the wedding planner's name is Aoife. I'm just going to spell it like this because that name took me for a trip. Somebody in chat finally made me look up how to pronounce it. Basically, Effie. I think that's how it's pronounced. That is not how it's spelled. That's how an idiot would spell it. All right, and then we have the various groomsmen of Will's. They're all old school buddies. All of them, including Jono, went to the same boarding school or primary school. We're just gonna put party boys. That will represent Will's groomsmen parade. All right, so we got some party boys. BOIS. So after I finished the book, I read a few reviews, and there were several reviews comparing this book to some of Agatha Christie's, and the relationships of the characters, I think, is what really draws out that likeness. You get this ambiguity. You see how characters relate to each other in the moment, but at the same time, the more you find out about how two characters might tie together, there's I don't know, it creates more gray area and ambiguity around how those two characters relate to characters outside of that sphere. So you will definitely be guessing for a while, trying to figure out who the killer is. There was a brief moment where I thought I had it figured out pretty early on in the novel. Cormorant! The cormorant is a bird much maligned in local folklore. Historically, the bird has been represented as a symbol of greed, bad luck, and evil. Look, the only birds I know that go underwater are ducks and penguins. Cormorant doesn't sound like either of those things. What if the murderer is some kind of weird fucking water bird? Please go there. I hope the story goes there. Unfortunately, I was not even close. In summation, you should probably read this book. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun with it. Now we're going to move on to the part of the video where I voice some discussion questions. Feel free to answer in the comment section below, or go check out my Twitch channel. I don't stream on a set schedule, but you can follow the channel and you'll get a notification when I'm live. I'll probably be playing video games or reading my next book for review on stream. Always happy to talk about words and stuff. Spoiler alert. The questions I'm about to go over probably do give some things away. So if you have any intention of reading the book, stop here, read the book, come back. Thank you everyone so much. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel. Check out my Twitch. Say hi to me on Twitter. Be my friend. Okay, bye. So who do you think would play Will if this were made into a movie? I've been going through my head about this, and I think it would be one of the two dudes from Supernatural, right? Like it's either Jensen Ackles or that other guy who I can't remember, and I'm sorry. I'm sorry, bro. You're good looking too. Jensen Ackles is just, it's an easier name to remember. But who do you think would play Will if this were a movie? Next question. How do you feel about the way the book handled the subject of mental health? Olivia is obviously very depressed. At one point in the book, she, I guess, somewhat debatably tries to take her own life. Um, do you do you feel like the author was able to treat the subject with respect and also represent it accurately? I think I mostly do. Not to bias your input. I want to hear what you think. But I'm glad she took the time to flesh out that part of the story. I think, the story, it really left me wanting to know that, I don't know that Olivia found a way forward. I felt like there are parts of it, and this probably reflects poorly on me, but there are parts of it where I'm just like, you probably should have had better judgment, but like, I would never blame someone for depression. Like, that is not something that we can control. Um, that's not a reasonable request. So I don't know. It would have been I, just something that kind of let me know that Olivia was gonna, not live happily ever after necessarily, but just like that she was gonna find a way forward. And I guess like maybe you see that a little bit in her reconciling with Jill. I'm sorry, with Jules, but I don't know. Like even even with all the secrets kind of out in front of them, like, Olivia and Jules' relationship wasn't that great even before all the secrets. Like, I don't know. I feel like they're not going to be bullfighting friends after all this. They might talk through some of the really nasty shit, but I don't know. I want Olivia to stand on her own 2 feet. You know what I'm saying? Like I was rooting for her. how did you how did you feel about finding out that Charlie cheated on Hannah? Charlie being Hannah's wife. Obs. Like, what the fuck? Like I kind of assumed it happened, but I think the author wanted the reader to assume that it happened when they were young and that it really was nothing. But the fact that it happened, after Hannah had their second child, it's pretty fucked up. Like it's it's hard to like Charlie very much after that. But also, I guess inversely, conversely, I don't know, something versely. There was a scene in the book when Charlie finally told Hannah about his ordeal during the stag party in Sweden. And she kind of, like, she seemed to sympathize for a minute, but then she got kind of hard on him, like, get over it. And I don't know. I'm probably hyper aware of when like male feelings get belittled. Like when dudes are trying to talk about feelings and shit, and women are like, shut the fuck up. Or even when men are like, shut the fuck up. Just because, I don't know, like I think we're becoming more in tune with the issues that men and women deal with and the emotions that we all struggle to fit inside of our squishy skin suits. So I don't. That just like I don't know. Hannah pissed me off a little bit with that. Um, what a. You think Jono deserved to take the rap for Will's murder? I mean, he was directly responsible. Well, is he directly responsible for that kid's death? I could like I don't. You could go back and forth. At the very least, like it's manslaughter. Like they didn't put him out there with the intent to kill him, or at least I believe Jono didn't. You know, there at one point Jono was questioning Will about whether or not he knew about the tides and shit. And that's even more fucked up to think about. I think actually we are meant to conclude that Will did know about the tides. Like he wanted to kill the kid so that the stuff with the test grades and whatnot would disappear. But yeah, did Jono deserve to go away for that? What what do you think about the hands at which Will met his fate? The sister of the boy that he killed 20 some odd years ago. Did you see that coming? Did you ever have any inkling? Now, after the fact, like after having read it, can you go back and look at any foreshadowing? There was a little bit during one of Effie's chapters about some gravestones in the yard in the graveyard that's on the island, belonging to some of the gravestones belonging to her family members. I think that was a very subtle nod. Even then, you don't have all the pieces. But if you were, I don't know. I guess if you hadn't made up your mind about who the killer's going to be, and you were just really taking stretches, I think that could have tipped you off.
So we'll see what happens with this one.